Welcome back, or welcome if you're new, to the Psyched Stitcher podcast. It has been a month, maybe, since I've been on here. It has just been crazy. So, if you're new, my name is Marsha, the Psyched Stitcher, play on words because I'm a psychologist in training, getting my PhD, and I love knitting and crocheting and fiber art things. So this is my little corner of the internet where I talk about all of those things. I haven't yet, but I'm sure I will, because it's just a matter of time, that I accidentally give you guys a psychology lesson. And yeah, so that's it. Today I actually just got back from a conference, and my mom has my kids and they're napping at her house, and so I was cleaning and I just thought, it's quiet, I have the house to myself, it's still sunlight out, I should record. So this is probably going to be a bit haphazard, which is nothing new from what I normally do. So but I'm not wearing any knitwear. I was wearing a sweater. I have an update about a sweater that I will show you guys. It probably won't look different, but it is different. And yeah, okay, so I follow a fairly typical podcast, vodcast, what is the word? Format, that's the word. So I go into finish objects if I have any, works in progress, and then kind of anything else if I have acquisitions, which I do, but I'm not really going to be showing a ton of. I'm just going to explain what I did, and yeah, so let's get right on into it. The first, and I think only, finished object that I have to show you is this massive blanket. It's a crochet blanket in, is this the right way? Yes. So here it is. It's a crochet cable blanket in Bernat confetti blanket yarn. This has been a work in progress for a year, and I've been seeing, I had this pile of yarn for this, like probably 8 to 10 more skeins of like the so like 4 and 4 of this yarn, and I just didn't have the motivation to work on it. The story behind it, it was being made for a person, and I really kind of lost steam. I didn't really talk to this person a ton, and so it was being made for that person, and I just stopped working on it. But I was finishing up a brown one, and my daughter and my son both were like, I like the blanket, and they wanted to snuggle under it, and I realized it's actually a really good size for a kid. It fits a twin bed really nicely, and like when I'm wearing it, like I guess I could show you, when I'm wearing it and snuggling up, like you guys can't even see, but like it is a good snuggle size. So I was like, you know what? I don't have to continue going with this blanket. I can just stop it after I finish the brown. And so I did. And it was wonderful. I immediately posted the rest of the yarn on a de-stash group I'm on Facebook, and it sold that day. And then I went and I sent it off, which honestly, like, I wound up breaking kind of even on it, but I was just so happy to get it out of my life because it was like such bulky yarn, and it's going to a new owner now who I'm sure will love it just as much as I did, but no longer serves me. So, and I get this fun cozy little blanket that I actually really enjoy. I've enjoyed snuggling with my kids. It's warm, it's machine washable, and I didn't have to put much more work into it. So this has technically been a finished object for like 4 days, but really I did no work on it. I just finished this last like 2 rows is all I did, and then called it done. So I mean, it's just been sitting unused for a year, which is kind of a shame, but there's a time and a place for everything, I suppose. And this blanket just didn't have its moment yet, so now it does. So this is my only finished object, which is insane. It's very comfy, and I'm always cold, so I'm just gonna wear it for right now. This will probably be my thumbnail, to be honest with you. But yeah, not a lot to say about it. The design of it is actually like, it's very intuitive. Cabling in crochet is so much more intuitive to me than cabling in knitting. I'm actually a little nervous. I used to do cable knit projects a lot. When I first started knitting, like I would make like cable knit scarves or cable knit hats, and it was pretty easy. And but now that I knit garments, cables kind of scare me, because cables are not just like the 3 cable thing here. They're like a lot more complicated, and so they kind of scare me, and I haven't gotten around to doing them yet. I think that's like on a to try list for this year. But yeah, so but cables for crochet are really easy. They're very simplistic, and they just add a little something, and I really enjoy it. This is not my typical color palette at all, so it'll definitely live in my kids' room, or just as a snuggly blanket. But I don't really mind. Blankets don't have to have a color palette. It's not how my life works. So some people work like that, and that's fine, but that's not me. So anyway, that's my one finished object that I did like nothing to make it a finished object, but I'm very much enjoying the finished product. The other thing that I have to update you on, I do have 2 other finished objects, which I can't show because they're in Washington with a baby who is hopefully being born, not hopefully, will be being born tomorrow. So I made a festival tee. Actually, it was a festival sweater baby, but I made it a t-shirt version in cotton. If I can figure out how to insert pictures, I will insert it, but if I haven't, I'm sorry. It is on my Instagram, which I guess shameless plug for my Instagram. It is, however, not a knitting Instagram. It is my life Instagram, which just happens to have a lot of knitting on it. Is Hasen Hobbies, HASEN HOBBIES. My Ravelry, it will be on my Ravelry as well, and that is linked down below as well. The Psyched Stitcher, or maybe I think I'm just Psyched Stitcher on there. But anyway, so I had those 2. I had that, and then I had a sleep sack. It was my first time sewing in a zipper for the bottom. I'd never sewn in a zipper before, and I messed up like 8 billion times, but I finished it, and it works, and I'm really proud. And it looked pretty good. So I used some variegated yarn that I had in my stash that was like pink and cute and tie-dye, and hopefully they'll get a lot of use out of it. But yeah, so I did finish those 2 things. And I have a funny story about something that I had to fix. So it still has, I was wearing this today, it still has my name tag from the conference I was on. But so this is not going to probably look any different, but if you have a good eye, you'll notice that this is actually a different color than it was before. It used to be white, and now it's more of a beigey color. Let me take this off. And the reason for that is when we were in Washington, another reason why I have not updated much is because we've been very sick. We got the stomach bug while we were in Washington, and then we got it again when we got back home to Mississippi. And yeah, so we were visiting a friend and my daughter was like, I don't feel good. And the next thing I know, she's puking all over me and my sweater and my friend's new couch and her floor, and then proceeds to puke all over her house as she's running to the bathroom. It was a nightmare. So I washed it. I mean, after I took it off and just didn't even think about it at all. But I sprayed it down. I looked up how to get like human stuff, like vomit, essentially, out of a sweater, a wool sweater. And I tried all of the tricks that I had. Some said like baking soda, some said vinegar. Neither worked. And I had this giant stain from like here over down to here of just like brown vomit, and it was awful. So I washed it a couple times in like wool wash, and it's also it has some acrylic content, so I felt comfortable putting it in the washer. So I threw it in the washer, and then we laid it out to dry, and it didn't work, and it was still there. So I ordered some dye. I think it was like a coffee color dye. I threw some in, and I just dyed it enough to where you couldn't see the stain anymore, which I think I did a fairly good job. I cannot see the stain anymore, and I actually don't hate the look. It is definitely not the white that I had, but it goes well with the navy, and I don't think it detracts from the sweater at all. And honestly, it's probably safer for me because I've already spilled some actual coffee on here, and you can really tell. So I may actually dye it just a tiny bit darker, but at the moment I really enjoy it and I like it, and so this is a refreshed finished object because I had to. In order to be able to wear it, I had to do something. But the dye took really nicely to the yarn, and yeah, so all in all, I'm still very, very, very happy with the sweater. It's probably my favorite sweater that I've knit so far, and you better believe I will be knitting more. Probably this is by, man, I'm gonna take a sip of my soda and try to become less chaotic. Okay, this, if you don't know, is the Farnham sweater by Sophie Hemmings, the Knit Pearl Girl. She is fantastic. She's amazing. I was able to test this for her, and it was wonderful. And she's currently testing the Farnham Tee, which is a cotton Farnham sweater with less ease, and I am so excited for it. She's also testing the crescendo top, also a crescendo tee, and it looks so cute, and I'm just like, I cannot wait for them to be released so that I can purchase them and make them. So yeah, anyway, you better believe I will be making the Farnham tee. Okay, so on to works in progress. I have more than I am used to. Let's see where to start. First things first, I guess. I have been doing this test knit for, to be honest, I don't know her. I'm sure her name is Elanore, but it's Elanore Alice Knits on Instagram. And the sweater is called the 07YO for yarn over sweater. And it's wonderful. And the test is due on the 2nd. And today is the 30th. Hold that thought. It's my mother. Okay. I'm back. Okay, so anyway, I've been doing this test knit. It was actually due, I think, yesterday, but she extended. Oh my gosh. she extended the test because none of us were done. And it's just a lot of knitting. It's small. So she extended it. It's now to the second. I am hoping I will finish, but we'll see. I don't think I will. I'll at least finish the arms though. So anyway, this is the 7YO yarn over sweater. It is so cute. Look at that. I can't wait to block it because I have a feeling it will grow quite substantially. Just one, because of the yarn, and two, because of the stitch. I've heard that the stitch grows quite a lot, so it looks short, but it should grow. And it's supposed to be cropped, so there's that as well. But it features a really lovely, all of the twisted rib here. See, that should be my thing. Anyway, all of the twisted rib here and on the arm, and then there will be I think a funnel neck twisted rib, long neck here. And it really is a really awesome design. I'm really enjoying it. I highly recommend. Her pattern is written really well and nicely. And actually this pattern here is super intuitive once you get through like a spot that, yeah, like once you get going on it, it's really intuitive. It can be difficult to like know what you're doing at first, which I think would be a problem. I wouldn't suggest this for a beginner knitter at all, but I would suggest it for an intermediate knitter if you know what you're doing, if you've made a few sweaters before, if you tried different constructions. This is a compound raglan, but in a way that I've never done it before, and I really enjoy it. And like I really like the way the sleeve is constructed. So how do you do it? So you start with the back, you knit the back and start knitting to the front, and then you actually create like a kind of a shoulder panel right here, and then you knit the front, and then you pick up, so it's kind of like set in sleeves but not quite, so then you pick up right here, and then from that point on you're knitting, and then you're doing a compound raglan sort of construction, so that you're increasing just the body, and then you increase for just the arms a little bit, and then you're done. And anyway, it's like really a fun construction. I really enjoyed it. It was challenging, but in like a good way, because for me it was flexing a brain muscle that I wasn't flexing before, in terms of like just you know, I've done drop shoulder, that's easy. I've done regular raglans, those are pretty easy too. Obviously those are the easiest construction there is. Compound raglan takes a little bit more thought, but not really. And then this was an overall like textured design with the eyelets and the new construction, and it definitely was something that I had to get used to, but I really enjoyed it. And I think we've worked out a lot of the kinks of the pattern now, and so I think it will be definitely a super accessible pattern. I'm not one to say don't knit this if you're this sort of thing. I do recommend it being an intermediate design or intermediate knitter for sure, but if you want to try it as your first and you feel confident, like the worst you can do is have to rip back, right? So I've really enjoyed it. Obviously I'm just kind of knitting on it slowly. I should probably finish knitting on it this weekend. And I could probably, one sleeve, they are pretty short sleeves, so one sleeve doesn't actually take very long if you have some time to just dedicate towards it, but I have not, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in the life segment, and maybe I'll pick this up to knit it. But yeah, the design of, or the pattern, hello, the pattern is really easy to memorize. And so I've actually not really looked at the pattern very much since I memorized what I'm doing. And then I just kind of go on and like make sure I have the right stitch counts, and we're good to go. So that is whip number 1. I'm looking here, I'm trying to think. Whip number 2. It's over here. Ha. It's in multiple places. Okay, so whip number 2. I am knitting a t-shirt. I got some of the yarn. This is the Stitch 101 50/50. It's 50% acetate, 50% modal. It's very soft. I've knit one shirt in it before in like a brown color, not brown, in a gray color. Anyway, this is a t-shirt and it doesn't look like much right now, but so here's the back panel. Not a lot to see. Here's the back panel. I'm currently just starting on the front panel. It features a garter stitch bottom instead of rib, and the sleeves, I honestly don't know. I think they're set-in sleeves. The pattern I'm following is a Lion Brand pattern, and I will put it in the description box below. I don't know the name of it currently. I have a thing where I would like to this summer. I know I said I would like to buy these, so maybe this isn't the case, but I do have a coupon, so maybe I can still. Anyway, I digress. This summer, I would like to use Stash, and I would like to use free patterns as much as I can. Not because I don't own summer patterns. I actually own quite a few summer patterns, but I want to just do an experiment of using the free patterns. Just, you know, there's this misconception or not, I'm not certain yet, but there's a conception that knitting needs to be expensive, and it is an expensive hobby. It's expensive, but it doesn't have to be. And so the yarn that I'm using for this is actually it's $6 a skein normally, but and again, I think I say this in I think I have said this in every single podcast at this point. Some people really love and some people really hate Hobby Lobby. Take it for what you will. It's the craft store I have available to me. So if I'm looking for yarn that is not indie dyed or yarn I have to like go online and purchase, but like I want to feel and touch the yarn, Hobby Lobby is the place I kind of have to go. And I don't hate it. And that's like unpopular opinion, I don't know, but I don't hate it. And right now they have their clearance sale going on. It's probably over at this point, but last week was a really rough week for me. And I did some retail therapy at Hobby Lobby, and like all of this is new, and you see a sticker here that's new, and I got some skeins of yarn back here. I got quite a bit of new yarn for very inexpensive. And so my goal for the summer is to use the clearance yarns that I bought, because I bought mostly cotton or summer yarns. I did buy, I'm really going out of sequence here, but I did buy an entire, I'll show it to you guys in a minute, but an entire thing of merino yarn. But these were $1.99 a skein. They're normally $7 a skein. Like, I can get a whole sweater. Very inexpensive. Anyway, long story short, that is what's going on here. I'm utilizing free patterns as much as I humanly can, or patterns I currently already own, and just trying them out. And are they going to be perfect? Are they going to be like the best pattern I've ever seen in the world? No, probably not. There's a reason pattern, like, knitwear designers ask you to pay for their patterns. Like, they do a lot to ensure that you're getting the best product available, whereas free patterns sometimes aren't ensure that they're the best patterns available. I am trying to also make sure I choose size inclusive patterns as much as I humanly can, which so far my just one, and it is size inclusive. But like, that is something I'm looking at, and trying to avoid drops patterns as much as I can. I probably will knit a drops pattern though, just full transparency there. So anyway, that is the tee. It is knit in Stitch 101 50/50 acetate, or sorry, aquamarine in the acetate and modal yarn. Very soft, super squishy, drapey. I'm loving it. It is knit in pieces and then seamed together, which I hate. And I thought about not doing that and just knitting it in the round until the underarms, but I chose not to. I chose to be faithful to the pattern because I do think that this yarn will benefit from seaming. I think it will hold its shape better and maybe grow a little less over time. So that's that. Okay, that is my next project. I'm about to sneeze. Okay. I'm trying to think about what I want to do next. It's actually not a pattern at all. It's just leftovers. Okay, so the next thing that I have on my needles, I actually cast on today. I was at a conference and I needed something to do with my hands. And so as I was running out the door, I grabbed a skein of yarn and was like, I will knit socks. So I'm using the Zauberball Schopple yarn in the color, I don't know which one's the color name. Is it Blasser Shimmer? Is it Bestel Nummer? Is it 1289? Is it Farbe 2170 dash? I don't know, but it's this Schopple yarn, and this is the color that it turns out to be. And here it is, the beautiful Zauberball. I love this. It's so fun. This is just like really springy to me and kind of Eastery, and Easter's next week. So I decided I'm gonna knit my daughter some Easter socks. So I just cast on during this conference and about done actually with her little sock. Just a vanilla sock. I think I screwed up on the heel, but it's not gonna bother her any, so it's fine. But I think I did like 5 rounds. She likes shorties, so did 5 rounds of ribbing, like 3 rounds of regular stockinette, went into the heel flap, and then picked up, and now I'm just on the foot, and I'm excited for her to be home today soon so that I can try this on her and see how much longer until I do the toe. But like literally this was 4 hours of knitting, and I will have her Easter socks available to her, and they're just fun. These are so fun. And then I will probably knit myself some shorty socks too. My whole family likes shorties. We do not like long socks, so sock yarn goes a really long way for my family because it's 150 grams, first of all. That's insane. So I could probably get a pair of Harmony socks, a pair of me socks, and probably 2 more pairs of socks out of this, because my socks typically take about 30 grams of yarn. Hers will probably take about 15 or 20. So I might be able to like knit my mom a pair of socks as well, and still have some left over. I know I'll still have some left over. So yeah, it'll be the gift that keeps on giving. That's what I'm doing right now. It's very fun. I really enjoyed it. And it should knit up. I mean, they knit up really quickly, so I'm not worried at all about being able to finish this before Easter. So that's that. And then I have one more. I'm using Cascade Whirligig in this colorway. It is a beautiful yarn. I do enjoy it. I'm getting so many phone calls right now. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so I'm using Whirligig, and I decided just to make a bits and bobs blanket. So that is what I'm doing right now, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm gonna have to. Oh, am I in the middle of a row? Darn. Let me see what I can do with that. So anyway, this is the Bits and Bobs blanket. I learned about it from Yana, Finish Knitting Stories. I love her podcast, and I was really trying to decide what this yarn needed to be, and it decided to be a Bits and Bobs blanket. I only have 4 skeins of this, which theoretically should be enough for a blanket, but because of the stitch, I don't think it is enough. So I am actually going to be interspersing with it. I have 4 skeins of this, and then I'm also going to do larger sections of this. It's Lion Brand yarn Touch of Alpaca in like an olivey, oh, it's called olive, in an olive color. So I think it'll look good. I mean, there's actually some olive in there, so it's a pretty similar color anyway. So I think it will look pretty decent. And so I'm going to do that and try to stretch the yarn as much as I can. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's been a really nice, like, quiet after the evening is over, and I'm so tired, and I don't think I have time to like really invest in putting into anything else type of pattern. I can just pick this up, and even if I knit one row, I feel like I did something. One row does take a while, as you guys can tell. But I like this because it's a ribbed design and there's no purling. So it's a lot of fun, and it's really wonderful. I have no idea if this is anything like half fisherman's rib or like brioche. I've never knit brioche or half fisherman's rib, which is another thing on my to-do list this year. So I don't know if it uses something very similar, and I'm just like super late to the game. But if it does, then it's really easy, and I'm excited for knitting half fisherman's rib or brioche. I'm not really sure if it is, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely a project, a long-term project, but not one that I like am gonna sit down and forget about, because it is so mindless. I can easily pick it up and like watch. This is like definitely a TV show type of knitting, or I mean, I feel like I could probably, even at this stage for sure, bring it to the movie theater if I ever go to the movie theater. Like I could easily do that, but when it gets a little bit bigger, I don't think I could. So yeah, okay, I'm almost done. Just a couple more rows. A couple more stitches. I am honestly so out of it. So anyway, so here it is. It's fun so far. Oh my gosh, Marsha. Here we go. So it's pretty wide. it's on my longest cable at the moment that I have. I should get a longer cable, but it's pretty wide. I think it's going to be a great size, and it's super soft. I really enjoy it. So that was a lot of work for not showing you literally anything. It's just fun. It's a rib, and it's fun. So anyway, that's my bits and bobs blanket. And honestly, I think that's it. I think that's all I got. Moving on to plans. I am planning on knitting myself some socks, and I have a plan to use some of this yarn. This is the Must Be Merino Aran weight yarn, and then I'm also going to use this Must Be Merino. It's a fingering weight, or it's actually DK, but so I'm going to hold it double to match the Aran. I'm in this test group for the possum pullover or sweater. It's a really cute yoked design that has cats or dogs, I think, but mine will be cats. And so they're like cats all over, and it's very pretty, and it's stranded color work, and it utilizes, I think it's 3-strand color work, which is nerve-wracking. I've never done that. So I'm very excited about it. I'm trying to pick out my colors right now for the cat so that I can figure out the way in which I want the yarn to go. But that's been fun. I've enjoyed it. So anyway, this is moving me nicely into acquisitions, because I have a lot of acquisitions specifically of this yarn, but I'm actually really happy that I'm like going to be using it immediately. So can I grab it? I don't know. Oh, falling over. This is all brand new yarn, but each skein normally $7, and it was $1.99. Some of these were $1.99. These are normally $6, and they were $1.79. This one, for whatever reason, even though they are exactly the same, just color difference. This one is normally $8, and it was $1.99. So, like, an incredible deal. And I've got a lot of sweaters in here, and not much. Like, this whole thing, it probably cost me like $50, maybe a little more, but not very much. And I have multiple sweaters, so I'm very excited about it. And I'm excited to be using the yarn right now. It's definitely not like the time for merino for me, but I'm excited to have it. The test goes until May, so I think I'll be just fine. But yeah, that's it. I did shop the Hobby Lobby clearance sale. I spent far too much, but I restocked pretty much everything I could possibly need for a very long time, obviously. And yeah, so I honestly don't have much else to say. I need to finish this test knit. I'm excited for more knits. Life has been really crazy lately. It's conference season, so there are lots of conferences happening right now, and then so there's lots of travel to and from conferences happening. It's time for research to be submitted for a lot of like conferences for next year, so we're really pushing for getting like conference or research submitted or published. And also it's annual eval season for us as students, and so we're doing that. And it's also just spring semester, so like midterms were just a couple weeks ago. I had a few presentations in classes. It's very content heavy this year, so there's a lot to do. Lots of like paper writing and stuff like that. But I got the bulk of my work done Like it was like 2.5 full weeks of just like panic, full on panic. But this weekend, it's my son's birthday tomorrow. He'll be 3, and I get to just hang out with him and be with him on his birthday. And I'm so excited. I cannot think about school. I don't have anything really to do. I've gotten like all my major projects done. I'm a little ahead in one class, so I'm like working on something that's not due for like a month. And yeah, so I probably will be a nervous wreck next week because of annual eval season, and the annual evals are due next week, and so I will probably be a nervous wreck submitting that. But yeah, I'm very excited about this summer, and just hopefully, I mean, I'm gonna have class and work, but hopefully having a little bit more time to just be a mom and be home and be with my kids and be with my husband and knit and not have a perpetual headache. So first year of grad school has been really challenging, eye-opening, crazy, but I'm thankful for all of the stuff that I've had to do, and the teaching experiences that I've gotten and things of that nature. So it's been fantastic. It's just crazy and hard, and I knew that coming into it. So that is why I'm so grateful for this hobby, because it really is a stress relief for me. It really is something that I do to calm down and get like my nervous energy out. And so I don't know where I would be without it. And sometimes it's unhealthy. I'll be honest, sometimes it is unhealthy. And I've had to step back from it a little bit. So I'm not producing nearly as much as I used to. And I'm, prioritizing sleep and making sure that I'm not staying up till 4 in the morning, or I don't think I ever stayed up till 4 in the morning, but staying up till like 2 in the morning knitting when I have to be up the next day and that sort of thing. So that's been nice, because I'm definitely in a more healthy state. I think it was in like a fugue state of knitting before, like I literally just couldn't stop, and now I see it as a wonderful, fantastic, like part of my identity, hobby, but definitely have it in its rightful place, I feel, at the moment. Now, I am still an obsessive knitter, let's be real, but yeah, so that's it for me today. I hope I have more to show you next time I come on here. I hope that I am able to make some progress. Hopefully I'll have this test knit done. Hopefully I'll have most of my second test knit done. Hopefully I'll have this t-shirt to wear and some socks. So that's what's coming up for me. I hope you guys have a wonderful, fantastic beginning of your spring. I cannot believe that it's April in like 2 days. I don't know where this year has gone already. It feels like Christmas is tomorrow, and it's insane. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.